trapezoidal rule. So trapezoidal means that trapezium. So we are using the concept of...
So yang ni sekarang you tengok ya, nota kuliah 3.3 trapezoidal.
of trapezium to find the area. So the definite integral where we have in here, integrate for the function fx with respect to x for the limit a until b, is the area under the curve fx. Therefore, if we have the integral, integrate fx with respect to x cannot be integrated. So means that for the chapter 1 integration, it cannot be integrated. So we are going to use the trapezoidal rule to approximate the value for the definite integral. Integrate fx with respect to x for the limit a to b can be found by evaluating the approximate area by using the trapezoidal rule. So do remember, we only approximate or estimate the area.
Okay, so di sini kalau you jumpa trapezoidal rule, maksudnya apa? Trapezium. Okay, trapezium. So topik ini diguna untuk cari area. Okay, cari area. So approximate maksudnya anggaran, estimate. So is this an exact area? So the answer is no, just to approximate area. So kalau ada pelajar tanya, apa fungsi trapezoidal rule? Adalah untuk cari area. So kalau dalam nota kuliah, you boleh tulislah di atas ini untuk cari area. Tapi bukan yang tepat, just anggaran. Okay, so seterusnya saya akan tunjuk macam mana kita dapat formula untuk trapezoidal rule.
Next part, to derive the formula for trapezoidal rule for the situation, integrate for the function fx with respect to x for the limits a to b. So let's the y naught means that the value for y, y1, y2, and etc. to be the value of the function f at the ordinate x naught means that the value of x, x1, x2, and so on, respectively. The area under the curve is divided into a numbers of parallel strips. So in here we have the keywords, strip, parallel strips, each with the width. So n is the numbers of strip.
Okay, so sekarang you diberi situasi ini. Okay, so let y0, y1, y2 and so on hingga ke yn. So means that the last term. So ini adalah terms before the last term. So value y, harap you faham lah apa maksud value y. So be the value at the function f. Maksudnya nilai y, okay, at ordinate, maksudnya nilai x. Okay, kejap nanti you akan nampak lebih detail lah apa maksudnya. Sekarang you kena ambil perhatian ini saja, the value of y and the value of x. So the area under the curve is divided into a numbers of parallel strip. So untuk trapezoidal rule, maksudnya integration yang you dapat ini, you tak boleh buat dengan direct method, substitution method, by part atau partial fraction. Dengar, tak boleh nak buat. Maksudnya you tak boleh nak integrate. That's why you guna trapezoidal rule. Okay? Ya? So kejap nanti saya akan bagi tahu you macam mana dapat H. Apa maksud H? Okay? So continue. What is N? N is a strip.
Or the subinterval or the parts. So where we have the formula in finding the H. So here we have the situation. So let's say,
Okay, tadi dia ada nilai y0, y1, y2, yn. Okay, y sub n minus 1 dengan yn. Nah, ini adalah nilai y you. So maksudnya whenever you substitute x0, you akan dapat y0 lah. You substitute nilai x ini, you akan dapat nilai y ini. Dan sebagainya. Okay, so ini nilai y. Ini adalah nilai h. Contoh, h is equals to x sub n divide minus with x0 divide with n. N adalah strip. Nampak tak? Daripada x n minus 1 hingga ke xn, ini panggil satu strip. Ini pun panggil satu strip, ini pun panggil satu strip, ini pun panggil satu strip. So kenapa kita guna xn minus x0 divide by 4 atau divide by n? Sebab kita mau bahagi ruang ini dengan sama rata. Faham? So ruang di antara x1 dengan x2 kita panggil h. Okay, kita panggil h. Dia punya width lah. Ya. So tadi you tengok ini, sebenarnya nak menunjukkan benda inilah. Okay? Boleh ya? So teruskan.
x. So the trapezoidal rule is to use to estimate the area under the curve as a sum of the area of trapezium. So as we can see, here we have a trapezium. Okay, so here we have the ordinate x0, x1, x2 until xn. So whenever we substitute the value x0 into the function fx, and we will have the value of y. So we denoted it as y0. If the situation is x1, so we denoted it as y1, and so on. So when we are using trapezoidal rule, means that we are going to add on this part with the other 4 parts. So in here we will have the area under the graph.
So mohon perhatian, trapezoidal rule estimate the area under the curve as sum. Sebenarnya integrate adalah you jumlahkan bahagian-bahagian ini. So inilah yang kita nak. Faham? Bahagian demi bahagian. Okay? So bentuk dia bukan exactly trapezium, tapi kita guna konsep trapezium.
So kindly refer to the diagram. So now what we have to do is to sum up the area of trapezium. So now we are going to derive the formula for the trapezium or the trapezoidal rule. So kindly focus on this part where we have the trapezium. So do remember the formula for trapezium or the area for trapezium. So the formula will be area is equals to 1/2 multiplied with A plus B multiplied with the C.
So mohon perhatian, ini adalah apa? Ini adalah formula untuk trapezium. Ini adalah A, ini adalah B, ini adalah C. Okay, so kita buat satu persatu.
So in here, we have 1/2. The A actually represent the value of this part. Okay, then we have the value B for this part, value of Y. Then we have the value C for this part. So kindly substitute the situation. So here we will have y0 plus y1 multiplied with the width, where we name it as h. So for the second part, again, we will have 1/2 bracket, where we will have y1 plus y2 multiplied with the h. For the third part, again, repeat the situation, 1/2 bracket, multiply with the y n minus 1 plus plus with the y2 multiply with the h, and keep on doing the part. If you notice that we have y0 plus y1 over 2 multiply with the h. Next, proceed plus, again, we have y1 plus y2 divide by 2 and multiply with the h. Continue, and we will have y2 plus y3 over 2 multiply with the h, and so on until the final part where we have yn minus 1 plus with the yn over 2 multiply with the h. So as we can see, we can factor the situation. For this part, we notice that we have over 2. And the same time, we have h. So meaning that we can factor out the h and also the 2. So now we factor out the h. And we notice that if we split the situation, we will have y0 over 2 plus with y1 over 2 plus with another y1 over 2. So it will become y1. Then keep on moving. Here we have y2 over 2. Here we have another y2 over 2. So y2 over 2 plus with the y2 over 2, again we will have y2. And keep on repeating the same thing until the final part. Here we will repeat the same situation. Y sub n minus 1 over 2 plus with the previous one, we also have y n sub 1 over 2. So we will have y n minus 1. For the final part, we have y sub n over 2. So that's why we have y sub n over 2. So rearrange the situation for this part. That's why we have y0 plus yn over 2. So the remaining one will be stated in here, y1, y2, until yn minus 1. So rearrange the situation, and we decide to factor out the 1 over 2. So if we factor out the 1 over 2, so we will have h over 2 multiply with y0 plus yn. So in here, if we factor out 1 over 2, means that we have to multiply the 2 with y1 until yn minus 1. So rewrite the situation. So here we will have.
So, apa yang saya tunjuk ini adalah step by step macam mana nak dapat formula ini. Okay? So, akhirnya inilah formula dia. Sebenarnya sama. Okay? Sebenarnya sama. So, kalau you tengok buku-buku lain, dia ada formula yang lain. Tapi saya nasihat, you ingat satu saja. So, macam biasalah, pelajar akan tanya, Sir, exam bagi tak formula ni? So, bagi saya, kalau you buat latihan dengan cukup, formula ini tiada masalah lah. Okay? Tiada masalah. So, mohonnya, ketika saya dengar kelas ini, saya memang tak nampak siapa yang join, siapa yang left out. So, saya kena switch. Asyik switch. So, kalau you nak, you guna MOE, DL punya account, automatic dia masuk. Okay? Kalau you tak guna MOE, susah sikit untuk saya. So, ini adalah formula dia untuk trapezoidal rule. H punya formula adalah B minus A. So, what is B? You rujuk kepada you punya limit atau domain A to B. Kita guna B minus A over strip. Ya, strip. Iaitu N lah. Akan diberi. So, kalau you tengok nota kuliah, kita punya syllabus maksimum N dia 4. Dia mesti 4 ke 3. Okay? Boleh ya? So, ini dia.
Value of the following indefinite integral. Correct to 4 decimal places. So kindly refers to the example. So given the function is cos x to the power 4. So do remember, write down the situation where we have cos x to the power of 4. So before we start the situation, so kindly key in the mode radian. Okay, because we are dealing with trigo function. Key in the mode radian. So question given, integrate the function of cos to the power of 4x with respect to x for the limit 0 until pi over 4 by using 5 ordinates. So in here, 5 ordinates means that refers to the value of x. So if you notice that, given the situation 5 ordinates means that the numbers of strip will be equals to 4. So what we have to do now is to
Take note lah. N adalah strip. So 5 ordinate berbeza dengan strip. Kejap ni saya akan terang dengan detail di mana tu ordinates, di mana tu strip atau subinterval atau parts. So mohon perhatian. Kalau untuk ini, cara nak tekan kalkulator adalah cos x bracket power 4. Okay.
find the value of h, or the width. So the width will be pi over 4 minus 0. And then divide by n, where we have n is equals to 4. So the width will be pi over 16. So kindly refers to the starting value, where we have 0, x0, followed by x1, pi over 16, means that we have to add on the h, followed by x2, again, pi over 16 plus with pi over 16, so we will have 2 pi over 16, followed by x sub 3 plus another pi over 16, then finally we have x sub 4, so we will have 4 pi over 16. So here we have one strip, followed by the second strip, third, and the fourth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If we refers to the ordinate, so here we will have the value of x, one ordinate, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth ordinate. Then make use of the calculator. Kindly key in the calculator and then press the button calculate. Repeat the process in order to have the value of y. So for the function, key in cos x bracket to the power of 4. Then we will have the answer y0 and the y4. Then this will be the y1, y2, and y3.
Okay, beri perhatian . Tadi saya dah cerita. Nampak tak? Ini adalah you punya strip. Yang warna kuning ni adalah you punya ordinate atau value of x lah. Okay. So bila you tekan calculator, mesti mode radian. Okay. Kemudian saya tak tunjuk macam mana saya guna calculator untuk dapatkan jawapan. So ada dua cara. Satu tu calculate and then tekan satu persatu untuk dapat jawapan. Satu lagi adalah guna function table untuk dapatkan jawapan keseluruhan. Tapi kalau saya mengajar untuk you sebagai beginner, saya akan ajar you tekan satu persatu dulu. Jangan laju sangat. Faham? Faham? Okay. Iaitu key in one by one.
Then sum up the value for y0 and the y4, and we will have 1.25. Same goes to this part, where we have to sum up the y1, y2, and y3. So finally, substitute the situation into the formula, where we have h over 2 bracket y0 plus y4 plus 2 multiplied with y1 plus y2 plus y3. And finally, we have the answer 0.5413, 0.32615. So the area will be 0.5413 if the question asking about 4 decimal places.
So sekarang, saya tak guna example trigo. Saya guna example yang ada 3 bahagian dalam soalan ni sebagai contoh penerangan.
Trapezoidal rule with n is equals to 4, so meaning that we have 4 strips. Then is to approximate the definite integral, where we have integrate for the function 1 over 1 plus x with respect to x for the limit 0 until 1. Correct to 3 decimal places. So that is the first part. Second part, use the definite integration, so meaning that the normal integration or the basic method, find the value of integrate 1 over 1 plus x with respect to x for the domain 0 until 1. Second part. Third part, compare the two answers and give a reason for the difference. So part number 1, we are going to use the trapezoidal rule to approximate the definite integral. So now the first part is to use the trapezoidal rule to estimate the area. So number 1, we are going to find the h is equals to 1 minus 0 over 4. So where we have h is equals to 0.25. Second part is to construct the table where we have x naught is equals to 0, where we have the starting point 0, then add on 0.25. Again, repeat, add on the 0.25, so we will have 0.5. Keep on repeating until we have reached 1. So we will have x sub 4. Then make use of the calculator, key in the function 1 over 1 plus x. Then press the value, calculate, substitute the x is equals to 0 until 1. So we will have the value y0. Here we will have y4, y1, y2, y3. Then we have...
Okay, so harap you faham apa yang saya tengah buat. So step number 1 adalah cari h. Step number 2, construct a table. Di mana table saya tak buat garisan, tapi saya jarakkan dia. Okay, kemudian saya sum up y0 and y4. Kemudian y1, y2, y3, saya pun sum up. Then saya substitute into the formula.
Have to sum up the y0 and y4 and y1, y2, y3. Then substitute the value into the formula. So we will have h over 2. Here we have y0 plus y4 plus 2 multiplied with y1 plus y2 plus y3. Then finally, we have our answer 0.697 because the question requests us to have 3 decimal places. So this is what we call the trapezoidal rule. The second part, we are going to find the exact value or to integrate the function. So for the second part, we are going to integrate the situation.
So untuk bahagian 2 ini, you baca soalan, dia nak you guna direct method integrate untuk cari exact value. Okay, atau cari area yang betul-betul tepat.
So based on the technique of integration, here we have the basic method. So if we integrate the reciprocal, and we will have ln modulus 1 plus x. Then substitute the value 1 and 0, and we will have ln 2. Then this is what we call the exact value. The third part is to find the difference. So what is the difference? So where we have ln 2 minus 0.697, and the difference is 0.0039. So kindly...
Okay, take note. So di sini saya tulis difference. Tak bermaksudnya mesti kena guna exact, tolak yang approximate. Tak semesti. You boleh terbalik juga, faham? 0.697 minus ln 2 pun boleh. Kalau you minus atau you terbalikkan dia, you akan dapat negatif kan? Yang kita nak bukan dia punya sign. Yang kita nak dia punya difference. Faham? Dia punya difference. Itu sahaja. So, kenapa perkara ini berlaku? Sebab ini adalah exact, ini hanya approximate. Okay? So, kenapa berlaku? Due to error.
Finally, explain why this situation happened. So the reason is due to error. Yes, the trapezoidal rule is just approximation or estimate, whereby we have the second part is the definite integral by using the direct method, and we will have the exact value. After that, by using the trapezoidal rule with 4 subinterval, so in here, the situation for subinterval, it refers to parts, or we can say interval, or we can say strip, or we can say 5 ordinate. So the question asks us to using the trapezoidal rule with 4 subinterval to approximate the situation. So where we have integrate the tangent x, secant x with respect to x for the limit 0 until 4. So in here we have 2 situations. Number 1 is to prove that the situation is equals to square root of 2 minus 1. Then rewrite the situation in 3 decimal places. The second question is to using the trapezoidal rule to find the situation. Finally, give your answer correct to 3 decimal places and then explain the difference. So focusing on number 1. Integrate the tangent x, secant x, respect to x for the limit 0 until pi over 4. So meaning that we have to refer to the technique of integration. So for this question, it is a direct method. So whenever you integrate the tangent x, secant x, we will have the situation secant x as an answer for the limit 0 until pi over 4. Next, what we have to do is to substitute the situation where we know that secant x actually is equals to 1 over cos x, where we have pi over 4, minus with 1 over cos x will be equals to 0. So from here, 1 over cos pi over 4, and we will have the situation square root of 2, minus, if we substitute the 0 into the cos x, and we will have 1. So the situation, integrate tangent x, secant x, with respect to x for the limit 0 until pi over 4, and we will obtain square root of 2 minus 1. So we already shown the situation.
So untuk situasi ini kita panggil apa? Kita panggil exact value. Okay, exact value. So tadi sudah tunjuk satu contoh. Ini pula lagi satu. Okay, so ingat bila tekan kalkulator mesti mode radian sebab you deal with trigo. So ini adalah bahagian pertama lah. Then rewrite your answer correct to 3 decimal places.
Then rewrite your answer correct to 3 decimal places. So by referring to the calculator, if you press the calculator for the square root of 2 minus with 1, and we will obtain the approximation 0.414. Next, for the second part, by using the trapezoidal rule with 4 subinterval. So in here, step number 1 is to find the h. So where we have h is equals to b minus a, where we have pi over 4 minus 0 over the n. So by referring to the situation, 4 subinterval or 4 strip or 4 part, but 5 ordinate. So in here we have to divide by 4. So h will be equals to pi over 16. Next, what we have to do is to construct the table form. So here we have x. So it begins with 0 as a x0, followed by x1 is equals to pi over 16.
Okay, so jarak antara x0 dengan x1 adalah pi over 16. So maksudnya setiap satu ordinate saya kena tambah pi over 16. So lain kali jika soalan tidak beri u n, faham dalam soalan ni dia tak bagi u n, dia tak kata 4 subinterval, dia tak bagi. Tapi dia bagi you situasi macam ni saja. So sebenarnya dari sini you dah boleh tahu you punya H adalah berapa. Atau melalui you punya table, you boleh nampak dah you punya N tu berapa atau you punya ordinate tu berapa. Okay, just hints.
So x2 is equals to pi over 16 plus with pi over 16, and we will have pi over 8. x3 will be equals to pi over 16 plus pi over 16 plus with pi over 16, and we will have 3 pi over 16. So finally, x4 is equals to pi over 4. Next, kindly substitute the value into the situation where we have y is equals to tangent x second x. So do remember by referring to the calculator, and we have the situation. So by referring to the calculator, change the mode, shift mode. So referring to number 4, and we have the radian. So now the mode is in radian. So kindly key in the calculator. So as we can see, we have a tangent x second x. So by referring to the situation, bracket, we have tangent, kindly press the button alpha and then x, close bracket, multiply with 1 over cos alpha x, close the bracket, and here we have the situation. Because in the calculator,
Okay, so ini cuma satu guide. So kalau you tengok nota kuliah, persyarat tersebut dia guna kalkulator yang lain kan? Sebenarnya sama sahaja. Faham? Konsep dia sama. Faham? Konsep dia sama. Cuma button tu mungkin berbeza. Sebab kalkulator tu berbeza generasi. Okay? So saya guna konsep calculate lah. Satu persatu. So kena ingat mode radian. Okay? So saya key in satu persatu dan saya dapatlah jawapan saya begini. Okay, akhirnya saya substitute ke dalam formula dan saya guna calculator untuk dapatkan jawapan saya. Boleh kot? Boleh ya?
is the difference. So the difference is 0.424 minus 0.414. So in here the difference is 0.01. So why this thing happened? Due to error. So that is the explanation.
Boleh? So saya dah tunjuk dua contoh yang sama ya. So inilah penggunaan trapezoidal rule. Inilah penggunaan dia. Apa ini? Dia tak bagi function. Okay. Dia pun tak bagi H. Dia pun tak bagi N. So, jangan panik. Okay. So, cuba you tengok. Ini adalah apa? Ini adalah table kan? So, kalau table, makna dia selalu kita punya table tu macam mana. So, saya cadangkan, you buatlah dia dalam bentuk table. Faham? Buat dia dalam bentuk table. Okay, nampak? Table. Table yang dia beri horizontal. Tapi saya buat table saya vertical. So, sebenarnya dia adalah sama. Okay, dia adalah sama table dia. Yang selalu kita biasa. So, bila you nampak situasi macam ni, you dah tak biasa. So, you akan panic. So, jangan risau. Buat macam biasa. Okay, buat macam biasa. So, kita dah ada table. Kita pun dah tahu dah H kita berapa. Kita tahu kita punya Y0 plus Y4 dapat berapa. Y1 until Y3 pun dapat berapa. Kita pun substitute ke dalam formula. Boleh? So, akhir guna kalkulator. Kira jawapan dia. So, di sini mohon take note. Soalan ini tidak bagi apa-apa. Dia tak kata 3 decimal ke, 3 significant ke, 4. So, ingat, rujuk balik you punya first semester punya exam paper. Cuba you tengok arahan. Cuba tengok arahan. Bukan arahan soalan arahan kertas soalan. Yang di depan sekali. Di situ dia ada cakap, jika tidak sebut apa-apa, sila guna 3 significant figure. Up to 3 significant figure. So, di sinilah 3 significant figure. Okay? Boleh?
To express your final answer in 3 significant figure.
So, saya dah sebut Boleh? So, kalau dah faham, inilah penggunaan trapezoidal rule.